story of Gideon. This is the Lord looking down at him, and he's in the wine thingy. Like,
okay, yes.
Having the wheat and stuff.
Yes, he's threshing the wheat.
And the Lord is saying, like, I choose you to fight the Midianites, and I will be with you. And then,
Yes.
And then, it's when he's taking down the picture and, like, the table and stuff.
The altar to Baal.
The altar to Baal.
Whose altar was it?
A false lord's
False
altar,
God's
and,
altar, yeah.
This is him taking down. I just drew it like a little picture and wrote down.
Very good.
And that's Gideon taking it down. And then
When did he take it down?
at night, because he was scared about the village and his brothers getting him. So then he took it down, and then that, and then
How many brothers did he have? Do you remember?
I think two or three. I think
He had. I'm pretty sure 8. Because that's how much I saw in VeggieTales.
What did you just watch earlier this morning?
VeggieTales.
And you watched Gideon and the tuba players, huh? The story, it's on YouTube. The story of Gideon on VeggieTales. That was really fun, wasn't it? What's that? You're right, sir. Adelaide, sorry. Well, Addie's still giving her narration.
And so Gideon said, okay, I need to be able to trust you.
To trust God.
And so he said, all right, I will put a bit of wool in my yard, a woolen fleece in my yard, and I want everything around it to be dry, but the woolen fleece to be wet.
Yes.
So he put a woolen fleece in his garden.
Yes.
And then the next morning, the ground around it was dry and the fleece was wet.
Oh my goodness, and you drew that. So was that it? Did he trust God then?
No.
That wasn't
wanted
it? He
to
wasn't convinced?
One more favor.
One more.
So then he said, all right.
Don't be angry at me, God.
Don't be angry at me, God, please. I just want you to do one more test. I want the floor around it to be wet and the fleece to be dry.
Okay.
And then he put the fleece again in his garden. And then the next morning, just as he said, the floor around it was wet and the fleece was dry.
Very good. And was he convinced then that the Lord was going to go with him?
Yes.
That he was doing God's will?
And so then...
So then he called out for so many men to come and join him, right?
Yeah.
To fight against all these bad guys.
And then I haven't done the picture yet.
You can just tell it.
The angel, I think, he said, wait, hang on. You've got too many men to fight. And so you have to say,
And then he said, you have 6 or 5 men.
Yeah, 6 or 5. Like so many fewer men than he actually had.
Tell anyone who wants to go home if they can go home.
Yeah.
So, Gideon said that.
And then he said 2.
And do you remember how many men there were that went home?
2,000.
22,000.
Oh yeah.
So many.
And
And
how many was he were left then?
They need 6 or 5 to defeat them.
Yeah, so it seemed to Gideon and to me too that for so many bad guys you'd need as many men as you possibly could. But did God see it that way?
No.
And then he made it even fewer. And then he made it even fewer until finally it was how many men?
5 or 6.
Well, no, not quite. It was how many men? That's
there
right,
was
Matthias.
100.
There was 100.
And so, no, before that,
Oh, right. Yes, sorry. I'm
everyone
sorry.
down to the river.
Yes, you're right.
Um,
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
and a few people, I can't remember why.
He had them. He tested them about how they drank, right?
Oh, yeah. A few people just put their face in and went, ugh, ugh, ugh.
He was like, not in my army.
And then the other people, they scooped it up in their hands and drink it. That's how many. And then the people went, ugh, ugh, ugh. Got kicked out of the army. And people went, stayed in. And then the Midians had 32,000.
Well,
And Gideon had 100. And so then
I don't remember how many the Midianites had, but it was many, many, many.
and then they
Whoa, they encircled it?
then this is the Gideon. The Gideons are like the big black dots.
Okay.
Gideon's army, and then the Midianites are the little dots, and they blew their trumpets. The Gideon's army, they blew their trumpets, and then they threw their torches around.
And they shouted out,
A sword for the Lord and Gideon. A sword for the Lord and Gideon. And then I've written my name.
and what happened? Did the Midianites get defeated?
Yes.
They freaked out, didn't they?
And retreated.
Okay, Addie, well done. Thank you. Thank you for telling the story. High five.